Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal. Got Dr. Brandon Nielsen,
Well, hey.
and we're going to talk about a really favorite topic of both of ours.
Oh,
And
honestly.
this is staying healthy, longevity. What is it that we need as human beings to stay healthy? Now,
Maybe even, no, actually, maybe. More important than exercise, more important than the food you eat. What? Yeah. And we always talk about that. And Jane's kind of like, wait, do I agree with this?
I totally agree. I'm just not sure
Okay.
how you're going to say it.
Okay, ready? But let's read a question because we got a question from somebody that they
Okay.
said we'd like to answer. I'll read it.
Okay.
Please discuss, possible again, why we can be more confident in our body's natural ability to fight
Viruses and
a
bacteria.
virus and bacteria.
Yeah.
I believe that some exposure strengthens our immunity for the future, and too much isolation can weaken us. Is that true?
Oh.
That is true. I'll answer it right off the bat. That is true, but why? Okay, let's break it down. There are 37 trillion little Jane Barlows, okay? Okay, what does that mean? 37 trillion. So she has 37 trillion cells. That's a lot. So let's just break that down to 37. Now, the amount of bacteria in her and on her. So right here, hold up here. She has bacteria all over her. All right, you do too. It's part of your friendly flora or part of your bacterial virome, or not virome, excuse me, part of your bacteria, your flora, okay?
Your community.
Your community, exactly. Now, 37 trillion little Janies, okay? But there are 300, so 10x that of bacteria. That's a lot. 370 trillion cells of bacteria. That would mean like gallons, like buckets of bacteria that we have in us and on us.
What was the other one?
So you have 37 trillion cells.
The cells, and then the bacteria.
And the amount of bacteria is
Okay.
10x that, so 370 trillion cells. So let's just make that now a number that we can understand. 37 little genes and 370 bacterias.
Okay.
Okay? The thing is the bacteria work with us. They work for us. All right? Some invading bacteria, bad bacteria, comes in. It's called a germ. It gets on our hand. Our good bacteria says, hey, what are you doing here? And they go out and they kill it. They destroy it. Bad bacteria gets in our mouth. They destroy it. Now, what we know is that bacteria, it also helps against viruses. It helps against any type of pathogenic microorganism. There is a sense of community within us that is called bacteria. Well, what we do know is that sense of community extends out into our environment. As soon as we go to a hotel, they used to think it takes longer. You can look up the research, but as soon as you go to a hotel, within minutes to hours, your bacteria starts taking over the entire place. Within just minutes and hours, your bacteria. As soon as I came with Jane, as soon as we just shared, we just shared bacteria.
It's so important.
I'm joking. It is so important. So when you ask
for help,
yes. And then I'm going to tell you a study. So we have 37 little Janes. We have 37 little Dr. Nielsen's. And now we just said, it's like our little guy just said hi to one another. When I just went like
when you
this,
give a high five to somebody.
to one another.
Right.
When you hug, when you touch, even when you're close, you're actually sharing bacteria. Hi. And they just said hi to one another. And they said, it's so good to see you. It's been so while since I've seen you. Which is the same thing that we did when we saw each other. I said, whoa, it's so good to see each other. You know? Well, our friendly flora also do that, you guys. Our little Dr. Nielsen's do the same thing. They say, hello, it's so good to see you. Oh, my goodness. And there might be a little bad when they're like, I don't like this guy, and they get rid of him.
Yeah, but honestly, this is what makes us healthy. When we see each other, when we hug each other, when we are able to connect.
Wait, are you sure about that?
I'm absolutely positive. And
let's talk about a study.
Okay, so yeah.
Keep going, and then let's talk about study.
Yeah, so think about how you feel when you've just given someone a long hug. Think about how you feel when you're holding a baby and kissing on that baby's neck.
Connection.
Right?
Love.
Yes.
A sense of purpose. So there's a couple of words, you guys, we want to really focus on: community, purpose, connection. I guess could say community, connection, and purpose. Out of the Outliers book, you can look it up. It's a great book. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. Listen to this. They wanted to study this Italian population that came over from Italy. They were in Rosetta, Pennsylvania. And they had such a low incidence of heart attack, like coronary artery disease. And the thing is, though, they couldn't figure it out because they smoked. They didn't eat very well. There's a lot of obesity, all the things that they would say these people should be sick. They shouldn't be healthy. So just really quickly, I'll just say this. The people of Rosetta, Pennsylvania, a town entirely made up of citizens who came from the village of Rosetta, Valfortore, Italia. Okay? So they were so intrigued. They did the study in the 60s. They didn't exercise. There were smokers everywhere. The same people from Italy, and they lived just in town over here in the U.S., they did have it. So they kept wondering because they thought of all these different scenarios. Well, maybe it's just the water. They checked so many different scenarios. They finally came up with it. And guess what it was? You ready? Community. Extended family. These people, as they're passing to work, they would say hi, but it became family. Wouldn't you consider me family?
Absolutely.
She actually always says I'm her little brother. So we have a sense of family, but because we have family, we then have purpose. Because this extended family, what we call community, you're a part of my community. And then because of that is you actually now connect. So just like us connecting, we're connecting. See that? We're talking, we're connecting. And it always isn't just touching, it's connection, the sense of connection, being able to have a sense of purpose. When you do that, you create community. And this is one of the biggest things that we've lost in this pandemic is we've lost community. We've lost connection. And when you lose connection, you start to lose purpose and why you're here and what are you doing? What in the world are you doing on this world right now? So you've got to refine that. And the way you do that is you once again create community through connection.
Completely. And if you're feeling full of fear about touching someone else or hugging someone else,
talk to them, but not even over a screen.
No.
It has to be like this. And if you have to wear a mask, wear a mask, but you've got to create your community once again.
Yeah.
Wait, this is for YouTube, huh? Yeah, this is great. I'm very passionate about this, you guys.
It's perfect because it's so true. So I think our biggest hope with this is that you'll realize that the connection in the community is actually what keeps you healthy.
Number one.
It doesn't, like this study of this, and there's been so many studies of these healthy pockets of people around the world, and they don't have the best diet, they don't have the best lifestyle, but they have community, they have physical connection, and they have
physical, real. Yes.
It keeps you healthy, and they have purpose. Those are the things that keep you healthy.
Absolutely.
So if there's been any kind of a spark in here that has shown you that this is, are you looking for the next question?
No, I'm just looking at this question. So I'm
make
just
sure we answer it right.
No, so I'm just going to say this. So the answer is an absolute yes. Say this little thing. If there's been any spark, you're just finishing. I interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm hoping that there's something, if you've been struggling and you've been missing, I mean, I have friends that haven't seen their grown kids in 9 months because they're afraid to. I have a very dear friend whose daughter had her first baby 7 months ago, and he hasn't been able to hold her because the daughter's too scared. So these to me are the tragedies, the fear that now is being caused. It's a total, absolute tragedy because this is literally what keeps us healthy. The connection, the sharing of, the sharing of our microbiome and our bacteria and I'm not talking about if you have a really bad flu or the cold.
No.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
You don't create community through sickness. You create community through loving one another, through connecting.
Right.
And so yeah, it's it's going to visit grandpa and grandma. It's going to, and those who feel safe, however they do it. But it's this real interaction with one another. And we've lost so much of that during this time. We have got to recreate community. If we don't, you're going to be alone. And when people are alone, to be honest, and I'm talking to you, you will think you shouldn't be here anymore.
Yeah.
And that is a tragedy as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, life is so beautiful, and we're here and we're supposed to be together. We're tribes of people
We
who
are supposed
need
to be
each
together.
other.
We
We are
always have
supposed
been.
to be together. So I don't know. I'm grateful that you are part of my family. Like, and
Yes,
you are
thank
like
you.
my little
I
brother.
know, right?
So anyway, I hope this has put a spark in you that can open the door if you have been isolating to an extreme because you've been so afraid. And if that is the case for you, or maybe it's a partial case for you, my number one thing is to turn off your television set, because you're literally letting it program your
I think
thinking.
more important than that is social media.
Oh yeah,
Because
I've stopped
yeah,
social media.
it's yeah,
It's
honestly,
very dangerous. To me,
especially
it's
in
not
certain,
just
yeah,
time wasting at this point.
it's brainwashing.
It's brainwashing and it's dangerous. So I hope that you'll take the steps and disconnect from those things and take the steps and connect
with real people.
with real people.
And one other thing I'll add to that is connect if you have to, even with a pet. So it's something real. It's
Yes.
something, a real mammal. And then the last thing I'll
Yes.
say to answer this question again, does it increase immunity? Well, if you can beat heart disease, diabetes, decrease sickness by just having a sense of community, the answer is an absolute yes. You can definitely increase your immunity by being with people, being around people. Not when they're sick. You do it when they're healthy, and you create connection. And like I said, your germs, they did a big research. I'd have to look it up, but they did this big research to show how broad your flora are, your friendly bacteria in you and on you. And they showed that just a decrease in sickness. And that was done, I believe it was some Harvard researchers. I'll have to look at the study again. It's pretty neat though. Some of them were really, they were trying to, at the end of the study, it was a competition to see who could get the broadest range of bacteria. And it was pretty crazy what some of them did. I'll add this one little snippet. Vegetables all have a different type of bacteria, okay? And I know this, we talked about community, but vegetables all have their own bacteria. Every variety has its own bacteria, especially the organic kind, okay? They all have their own variety. Just like humans, we all have our own type of variety of bacteria. So the different types of vegetables that you're exposed to, colors, shapes, sizes, you get different bacteria. And again, it's about variety. It's about connection, community.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Drop us a comment below and tell us what you think.
I would love to meet you in person someday.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So Dr. Nielsen, again, I when we go on a video this long, I like to kind of say some stuff that people might not be expecting, because sometimes people don't ever get to the end of a video.
They do.
We have such short attention spans.
Yeah.
So earlier or last year, you actually held a workshop, a retreat.
Yeah, Holistic Family.
And
Holistic
it
Family
was
Live.
amazing. So it was here in Salt Lake. People flew in and drove in from other places. And I got to go there and show people some stuff, like how to make tinctures and how to make a salve and talk about stuff. So if you do get a chance, maybe we'll put on something together.
We're going to be doing something again in the future.
Probably sometime this year.
Yeah.
But we'd love it if you joined us, because you're probably very like-minded, especially if you got to the end of this
HolisticFamilyLive.com.
Oh yeah, go there. That's his site.
And I think it should be still up, but we're going to be doing another one this year.
Yay!
And Jane will be there.
I'll be there. Always. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We would love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to connect with you more. So have a great day.
And take a risk.
Take a risk. Oh, I like that. Yeah.